Hello, this is Andy with I'm a Marketer. In today's video, we're going to go over how to build your header and footer for your website in Go High Level. Let's get started. In preparation for this tutorial, what I've done is I've created a mock-up website. This mock-up website I've already kind of pre-built it, just the pages, not the footers or headers, because I kind of wanted to just show you how to work on just those two specific parts. The interiors we'll do in another video, but I've basically come up with your basic pages. You have a home page, an about page, a services page, a product page, podcast, contact us, and of course, terms and conditions and privacy policy. So it's a basic page setup, 8 simple pages. And usually what I do is I start off from the home page. So I'm going to edit the home page, and I always like to edit in a new tab. It makes it easier. That way I can always go back and forth and see the pages that I have just to remind myself. So I'm in the site pre-prepared. As you can see, there is no header on this page and there is no footer on this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this plus sign right here. And then I'm going to go to sections. Now I'm going to grab the full width section. Just drop it in right there. I'll then add a new row. And in that row, I'm going to add, in this case, I'm going to do 2 columns because I not only want to have the menu with the logo, but I also want to have a contact us button. All right, so I'm going to click on this one. And I'm actually going to widen this one. This is just particularly what I like to do. So I want to widen this row. In order to do that, I click on Allow Rows to take entire width. And I do that on the section, which is the green portion. I just open it up like that. And that stretches it from end to end. But I don't want to completely have it super tight like that. So I want to give it a little padding. So I'm going to go onto my row right here. So this is the section in green. My row is blue. And I'm going to add 40 pixels on each side. Now I do that because I don't want it to completely butt up to the end. And you'll see why in just a moment as I add the logo. Now I know for a fact that I'm going to have a logo here on the left. I'm going to have my menu here in the middle. And I'm going to have that Contact Us button right over there. So in order to do it right, and you'll see how this works in a moment, I'm going to actually take this column and I'm just going to make it smaller. Now, I like to work backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my element, and I'm actually going to do my Contact Us button first. So I'm going to type in button. Now, with the buttons, I can either bring over a button just like this, which gives me my standard green button, or on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's different styles of buttons already pre-built. Now, I know I like this one, but you could choose any one of them and then manipulate it as you've worked on it. So I'm going to grab this guy and I'm going to drop him right in. All right. And in that button, I'm going to name that button our Contact Us button. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to change the text on that button to just Contact Us. And that's going to take us to our Contact Us page. Now I can put whatever I want in there. I could put a phone number in there. I could put my social media links. I could do whatever I like in that column. But for now, I'm just going to have that button. Oftentimes you do a book now for your calendar. And I can also add a subtext if I want, or I can just make it go to a page, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to link to, and I'm going to scroll down. You may not see it in the video, but I'm choosing out of the full menu, the go to page link. And on the go to page link, I get a list of all the different pages. And I'm choosing the Contact Us page. It'll be down there. You'll have a full list of all the pages that you've pre-built.
Hey, we want to interrupt this video for a quick little minute to just let you know that I hope you're enjoying this video. We want to thank you for being here. But more importantly, we are hoping that this content helps you do whatever you're trying to do inside of High Level. We also want to let you know that you have options to get additional help. We offer a $197 a month VIP coaching program that includes 4 days of office hours, first come, first serve with Andy or myself, where we go in and we answer any of your questions that you might have live with the group setting for other people that are also working in High Level. We also have a VIP group where we answer questions directly one-on-one with anybody posting in that group to give you the absolute best support. It also comes with a bunch of other features, including our funnel brick system, our little mini course, and more importantly, a couple guides that'll help you through this, and also including our SOP library that we use for pretty much everything inside of our agency. So thank you for this quick little minute, but more importantly, go back to the video, get whatever you need, and if you have any questions that we can answer inside the video, just drop a comment on the video and we'll make sure to answer whenever we get a chance. And now back to the show.
And you want to make sure that your pages are kind of built, even if they're empty. You just want to make sure that, as I have it here, that the base pages are already there. Now, I've already done the artwork. I use actually one of the great templates that High Level has. By all means, just add a page that's completely blank and just put it right in there. All right, so we've done that. And we're going to go back into the page. Now I want to add the other parts of the menu, and that's going to be the logo and the other choices. So I'll add an element, and I'm going to type in menu right here, and my navigation menu is going to pop right up. And as you can see, we have certain parts in here. We've got our logo and a placeholder for a logo, the name if we choose to use it, and then the other links. And these links are all to all the pages. I'm going to show you how to manipulate that in just a minute. So the first thing I like to work on is the logo. Now I've pre-downloaded some logos, some fake logos just to show for this example. But if I click on this image right here, as you can see the brand logo, I can change it by clicking this, and I can do a new upload. I'm going to upload the file, and I'm going to use what I have here as a black logo. And my logo is going to be right there, and I click, and my logo has been added. But you see how it's all squished up? That's not the dimension of the logo the way I want it. My logo right here is already set to 100 by 100. So we're going to eliminate the height. And when I eliminate the height, it gives me a proper dimension, but it's still too small. The width isn't right. So we can do a couple of different things. We can either delete it completely, which brings us to the basic size of the logo of the file that it originally was, or we can set it to exactly as we want. In this case, I'm going to use 300. Now, sometimes you may not want to use a logo, or your logo may be just a star or an icon and not actually have a name or word in it. So you can actually go into the business name and you can manipulate it here. So I'll just put lorem ipsum so you can see exactly how that works. But for this tutorial, I'm going to eliminate it completely. So I'm just going to delete these words, but I just want to show you that you could type right into it. And actually, for the moment, I'm going to leave that so that you can see the part I'm going to do next. The part I'm going to do next is show you how I can change the color of things. So I can change the color. I can have, different colors for the background of the menu that only affects the menu area. So if you wanted to do something that was wider, that was like the whole top of the menu, you're actually going to put it at transparent. That way, whatever color is in the back here is going to bleed through. So if I click here, you'll see it gray because I'm choosing gray is going to pop out. Had I left it as white, it would be encased in white. All right, so I'm going to put it actually back to white because actually I think that looks better for this tutorial. All right, so then I'm going to click back into the menu. And I can also manipulate the size of the text. I'm going to go up to 18 in this case. That's going to increase the size of the links and increase the size of the word. I can also change the weight. So it could be bold. It could be extra light if I chose. In this case, I'm going to leave it as bold. I can then also change the color of all those different words up top. So in this case, I can change the color to blue to match everything else. That's a little too light. So I'm going to choose this over here, which will darken it up nicely. And then all of the other colors that we're used to using throughout the builder are right there. Now there's one other part here, which is the mobile view icon, and that's very important. So we have a couple of different choices here, what we can have for an icon. I always use the bars, and you may be asking, what do you mean by the bars? If we go to the mobile mode, you'll notice, and actually it's best to show it. I'm going to save this for a moment and actually preview it and open it up in another window. And if I right click and I hit inspect and I go to the mobile view, you'll see exactly what I mean. You see how we have a hamburger menu right over there? A hamburger menu is the very traditional way of showing a mobile menu. Now, I am not going to use, again, lorem ipsum in the end. This will move over just a little bit. But you see how my contact us button, something like a book now button or something like that, is really prominent because of the way I laid it out? That's why we always want to go back and forth and look at the mobile view. But I always use the bars, the hamburger, in order to convey that that is a menu mobily. Okay, I'm going to get out of that. All right, so we're back in here. Now, after I've done that, I need to attach the actual links to this navigation menu. In order to do that, all I need to do is scroll back down into here, and here are my menu items. And I can delete or manipulate the ones that are already there. Now, as you can see, and you know what, I'm going to show my preview again here. There is the ability to do a drop down. So I could have a page that's underneath. The way that I have that is that I can move this icon back and forth. You see how the team is now appearing there? And if I hit save and I refresh this page, now team has appeared and there's no drop down. If I wanted that to be a drop down, all I need to do is actually just drag it. And by the way, this can be dragged underneath any one of the items. I can move it over to underneath the home page if I wanted to. Sometimes you got to play with it to make it work right there. You go. You got to just kind of flip it in and you see how it moved underneath. So that's kind of how you can move, manipulate things, and make things a drop-down menu. Okay, I'm going to put that back now. And I'm actually going to go through here and I'm going to make these links work for the site based on the pages that I have. Now, if you look over here, I've got 8 pages. Now, these 2 I'm going to save for the footer, but these 6 are the ones that I want to have at the top. Now, we already have the contact us at the top with that button. So now I only need to make sure that I have these 5. So I'm going to go over here, and to change team into the next choice, I click on this pencil, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click go to page, and I'm going to see the list of the different pages that I have. The first one up is about us. So I'm going to click about us. I'm going to rename this team to about us. And then I'm going to click on this one here, and I'm going to change that one to services. All right. Contact, I'm going to get rid of because I already have a button for it. Now, very, very important. We can choose either than go to a page, we can actually go to a URL also. So if we wanted to put something like check out my YouTube channel, we would just type in something like YouTube, and then we would put the link to the YouTube channel right in here by just going to youtube.com. And in this case, I'm going to do our this channel, Automated Marketer. If I've spelt that right, and hit submit. Actually, there's one other thing I need to show you before I do that. You see how this says open a new tab? Because often if we're going off-site, we want to open up the menu item in a new tab. If we're staying within our site, we don't need to do it in a new tab. But if we're going away from our site, we want to put it in that new tab. All right, so I'm going to hit submit there, and I just want to show you that really quick by hitting save, and I'm going to do a preview again. And if you click on this YouTube link, there you go. The YouTube Automated Marketer site comes up. So just a little quick thing I wanted to show you there, how that worked. All right, so I'm going to go back in and finish this up. I'm going to get rid of this YouTube because I don't really want to put it in the menu of here. And I'll put in my next choice by, again, going to the page. I already have services up there, so I want to do products. In this case, I don't want it to be in a new tab because, again, I'm in the site. I'm going to make sure that I have my spelling right on the services one. And you see I have that in open a new tab. I want to get rid of that. So I got to check all these. And make sure that you check all of them. Make sure that this is right. See, open a new tab. I need to get rid of that. And I don't want to have open a new tab in this one either. And that one says go to website URL. So we're going to change that to just the home page. Perfect. Submit. And then last but not least, we are going to go and we are going to grab the podcast page. All right. Submit. And as you can see, all of those pages have now been added. Now in the advanced area, I can make a couple of further adjustments. I can change my line height. I can transform the text, make it all caps or something like that. Have certain ones for menus and so forth. I can have a headline in my menu. I can also change the layout. I can make it reverse if I wanted to. See how that worked? And I put the logo over. Sometimes you want to put the logo in the middle. That's a cool little way of doing it. I like the default personally. You know, I can undo the headline right here. So that's going to take out the name. That's going to get rid of that completely. And then I can do drop down, if I had a drop down item spacing right there. All right. And now I'm going to hit save. So my top menu is done. If I look at it in the preview, all the pages are there. But now I need to add this to another page. I want to make sure that this is able to be added to other pages on the site. So we go over here, and I believe I have it already set up. I've already played with this before, as you can see. So one other manipulation that we want to make, though, is if you notice, these are kind of tight together. It's hard to read them. In order to do it the proper way, I feel, what I want to do is I want to click into the menu, and I want to actually change the horizontal spacing in between each one of these. So I'm going to broaden this out just a little bit. I'm going to bring it to about 17 or maybe about 20. And that way I can have good space in between each one of my menu items. All right, that's done, and I'm going to save. So since I like this pretty well, I think this is going to be a good, at least in this example menu, I can add some more flourishes, but this will work for now. I want to make sure that I can transfer this to other pages. In order to do that, normally all you would do, because it's a template, is that you would save it. You would go on to the section, and sometimes this can be hard if you have the row all stretched out. So we just kind of click on the top and move on the green and hit the save. Now, normally I would just save it like this. this. But we want this to be global. We want this to be on every single page. So in order to do that, we just type in the name that we're going to use. And then from the drop down, we use global sections and we hit save. Now this one already exists because I was manipulating this before the video started. So I'm going to just call this header number 2 and hit save. And now that's a global section. And we can tell it's a global section because it's a dark purple in here, if you notice. All right, so let's hit save. And now we're going to go to the Contact Us page and add it to the Contact Us page. We hit the plus sign here and global section actually pops up immediately. But if you don't see it immediately, just choose it on the left-hand side. So for instance, we see elements here, in this case, global section. And as you can see, my header number 2 is right there. So I'm going to drag it and I'm going to drop it. And then it is completely ready to go. We have the header right in here. That header is going to be the same no matter where it is. And if I change it here, it's going to change it on the other page because it is a global section. And I'm just going to hit save. And now that's done. Now I'm going to work on my footer. So I'm going to click the Contact Us. I'm going to go back to home again, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to just start adding my bottom footer right there. I'm going to go full width again. Now I like a contrast in my footer. So I'm going to make this one actually black or a darker color. We could use a dark blue, something like this right here, anything, just something that's contrasting. I'm going to add a single row, and I'm going to drop my logo in here. I'm going to go to image. I'm going to scroll down so I can see it. Click on that, and I'm going to upload my white version of my logo. And I'll double click right on it. And now I want to add the menu right underneath because I want to just do something a little different. By the way, this works up top also. So I'm going to just hit this plus sign here, and I'm going to choose menu. But I'm going to do something a little different than I did before. I'm actually going to get rid of the logo. So I'll get rid of the logo. And I'm also going to get rid of the headline. So I'll click on advanced, and I'm going to get rid of the headline. And now I just have the words. And then I want to go to general. I'm going to get rid of the background color. I'm going to make sure I've done the same exact thing for the mobile. And I'm going to make all the links white. So I'll change this one to white right there. And as you can see, they've reappeared. And then I want to go into advanced, and I want to center these. Now, it's a little bit of a misnomer that these can't be centered properly. And with the logo, I want to make it go towards the left in this case. So I'm just going to add it to the left. And you know what? I'm also going to add a second column. So I'm just going to double this up, and then I'll delete this so I make sure I have that second column. Now I want to add another menu underneath this logo. So believe it or not, I'm just going to go up top since this is already built out, and I'm going to clone. I'm going to clone, and I'm going to drag this all the way down to my footer. That way I don't have to rebuild it again. And then I'm going to manipulate it from here. I'm going to get rid of my logo. So I just go into general, scroll down to the logo area. I'm going to uncheck it. Then I'm going to change these words. I'm going to make them from blue. I'm going to go to white. And then I'm going to change the horizontal spacing so it fits nicely. And as you can see, those links are there ready to go. And then on my right side, I want to add some social media links. So I'm going to click here to add an element. Now, if I go here and I go into elements and I type in social and drag it in, I'm going to get some standard social media links, but it doesn't really go with my theme. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to add an element. And if you go to social media icons, you've got some other choices here. And I kind of like these a little bit more. So I'm going to use this light gray one as an example and just drop it right in there. And as you can see, that's a little bit more, different, cleaner, fun. I might even want to make my logos the same color, but you can kind of have a little bit of difference and a little bit of fun with that. You can also change the size of those icons. You can make them icons and text. You can add other social media choices or add other choices or any kind of link that you want there, but they're there ready to go, and you can edit them just by clicking on a pencil and putting in your actual link. And those icons are ready to go. Now, the last part of this is I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to do another row, a 1-column row. And here is where I would put my copyright information and my privacy in terms of conditions. So I would add an element. And in this case, I'm going to just put my paragraph. I'm going to make that text white. I'm going to click into it, and I'll just type in, terms and conditions. And sometimes I like to put what's called a pike and privacy policy. And at this moment, I would also add my copyright information. I would type in copyright 2024, and then I want to get that little C. In order to do that, I hit it with a space, I right click it, and on a Mac, and I think this is on a PC too, you could choose an emoji or symbol, and it is one of the choices that's below. And as you can see, it's been added, and I've got my copyright information. That's ready to go. And to link to those privacy policy and terms and conditions, all I got to do is select the word and then choose the link right here. And I would actually put in the actual link to those terms and conditions or that privacy policy that I would have after I've finished building out my site. So we're just gonna walk away for this tutorial. And the last thing I wanna do, again, is I wanna make this a global choice. So I'll hit the save button. I'm gonna call this footer 2. I'm gonna add it to the global sections. I'll hit save. That's ready to go. And it's warning me, are you sure you want to do this? And I am sure. So I'll hit save because I've manipulated both. I've got my header done. I've got my footer done. I know all these links work because I tested them up here. Now let's look at the page. There we go. All those have been added. Now, if I go to contact us, the header is correct, but look at there. The footer is not there. So I need to add it. So I click on the link again. I go to contact us. Scroll down to the very bottom. I hit the plus sign here. I go to global sections. I find my header number 2. So sometimes when it doesn't appear like that, it can get a little confused. So I'll put it above. I'll put it above and I'll just click on one of these arrows to make it go down below. And there it is at the bottom. I will hit save. If it was connected to a domain, I would obviously also do publish. If I click on this again and I hit refresh, and if I go to the page and I scroll down, there is my universal footer. And I have my header, of course, up top. If I go to the home page, it is completely matching. There is my header, and there is my footer. And I would just cascade that through all the rest of the pages and then be able to go back and forth through all the pages and test all the links. All right, so that concludes our tutorial on how to do your headers and footers inside of Go HighLevel, inside the website section of Go HighLevel. If you like this video and you like what we're presenting here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.